What is up, my spectacular Spider Spy spectator spec powers here? You can call me Mr. Axel Foley fan or Mr. Beverly Hills Cop fan because it is time for me to do a YouTube video on a DVD review of the first three Beverly Hills Cop movies starring the one and only Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley. There he is right there on the cover art, as you can see right there. And with so next to the title logo, Beverly Hills Cop, and it says 3-movie collection. He looks cool. The heat is on, as they say. And here's the side of the cover. Sorry. The title, Beverly Hills Cop, 3-movie collection, and Axel Foley's picture right there. Here's the back. Here's the back right here. Feel free to pause and read that. So there's a picture of it includes Beverly Hills Cop from 1984, Beverly Hills Cop 2 from 1987, and Beverly Hills Cop 3 from 1994, which a lot of people deem to be the worst in the franchise. But I mean, it's different compared to the other ones. It's a lot more campy, but it's watchable. I mean, I'll do a ranking video of ranking each installment, including the fourth movie, part 4, aka Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, which just came out like a month ago at the time of this recording or so. It's on Netflix right now if you want to watch it. Again, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. And so let's get started with this. We'll get on more with this, shall we? So, for those of you who don't know what it's about this cop named Axel Foley from Detroit, Michigan. Like I'm gonna go through each installment right now. So the first movie, which is really, really good, by the way, Beverly Hills Cop, again, from 1984. It's about this cop from Detroit, Michigan, named Axel Foley. His good friend suddenly gets murdered by these criminals, and Axel Foley was knocked out right before his friend gets murdered. So Axel manages to survive, but he wants to get revenge for his friend's murder, get justice, bring them to justice, etc. So he gets a lead on the suspects being based in Beverly Hills, California. So he travels all the way to Beverly Hills to pursue his own investigation against the Detroit police chief or captain, that guy who was like, it's the longest vacation. If you go to Beverly Hills, it's the longest vacation you're ever gonna hear. Like if you start doing an investigation, pursuing your own investigation, it's gonna be the longest vacation you ever hear. Like, against that guy's wishes and warnings, he decides to go on his own, pursue his own investigation, and he finds the mastermind behind the murder, a guy named Victor Maitland. He owns an art gallery place, and he gets arrested and taken to the Beverly Hills Police Department, where he meets a lot of the supporting characters from this franchise, including Judge Reinhold and John Ashton's characters. What are their names? John Ashton's character's name is Taggart, but I forget the name of Judge Reinhold's character. Either way, I mean, they're supporting characters for Axel Foley, and again, they have to, and he slowly manages to convince. Oh, and I forget this guy's character's name, but Ronnie Cox. He plays the police chief or captain of that police department at Beverly Hills there. He's another one of the good ones. Excuse me. He's a supporting character for them too. So, he slowly manages to convince them to help him in joining and pursuing this investigation, and he confronts Victor Maitland multiple times and nearly gets himself killed, but he acts goofy throughout the whole time. It's really humorous, good sense of humor, a lot of good action sequences in the music. The theme song, the music, like the heat is on. It's so 80s-ish. I love it. You gotta love it, right? Eddie Murphy never fails to make you laugh alongside his side characters. So yeah, like and like he he happens to find his one of his other good friends who went to school with his murdered friend and him. This girl named, I forget the name of the girl, but she works at Victor Maitland's art gallery, and like he tells her about the murder, and he later tells her about how he suspects Victor Maitland being involved, like being a suspect. So he tries to find clues and tries to bring them to justice, etc. Mystery, like adventure, investigating a case, kind of cliche. I totally recommend it. And here's the disc for the first movie. Speaking of which, Beverly Hills Cop, just plank silver with the logo words. No pictures, but it's okay. Rated R. Don't show this to your little children unless you are willing to do so. You have no problem. So yeah, that's Beverly Hills Cop. And now let's get on to Beverly Hills Cop 2. Here's the disc for that one, by the way. Same thing. Plank silver disc. Logo words. No pictures, and that's okay. Rated R. 2. Now it's about Axel Foley again having to return to Beverly Hills because there's this what do you call it? There's this gang of international munitions smugglers. They rob a jewelry store, and they also shoot Ronnie Cox's character. I keep forgetting the name. I just know he's played by Ronnie Cox. They shoot him. Miraculously, he survives the shooting, but he was seriously injured at first. Like, he had to go to the emergency room, and Axel Foley and his friends, from the first movie, like John Ashton's character, Taggart, and again, I forget Judge Reinhold's character's name, but they decide to pursue their own investigation on these smugglers, and they later find out that these smugglers are being led by a criminal mastermind known as Maxwell Dent, who is a really interesting villain. He really is scary, even though he may not seem like it right away. And he's like one of like Victor Maitland. He's like one of those characters he's not to be F with, unless you're Axel Foley. So again, Axel Foley acts goofy, charismatic, comedic towards the bad guys, anyone you encounter, and he pursues an investigation. It's like fun, action, adventure, investigating, going on a case, investigating a case, etc. And also, fun fact, Chris Rock makes a cameo in this movie. You can't miss him. If you recognize his iconic voice, you can't miss it, because it was always the same. That voice is never going to change. It's Chris Rock we're talking about, right? So yeah, Bella's good. And it's a really good movie, too. It's one of the good ones, too. Do I think it's better than the first? I guess so, yeah. Better than the first. Yeah, slightly better than the first. First one's good too, but the second one's slightly better. It's really fun and action-packed, and it's good. Good acting, good story, etc. Symbolic, good structure. So yeah, that's Beverly Hills Cop 2. And now on to Beverly Hills Cop 3. Again, here's the disc. Plain silver disc with the logo words. No pictures, and that's okay. Rated R, again. I wouldn't recommend to little children unless they're okay with it watching it. And so here we go. So this one's about Axel Foley again, going to Beverly Hills, California, once again, because the police captain, or the police chief of Detroit, who appears in all three movies in the original trilogy, he unfortunately gets murdered when he and Axel Foley and some other people were on a case trying to capture these bad guys. And at the funeral, he goes to the funeral for that person, and he tries to comfort his widow, and then Axel pledges to find the people responsible for this murder, to bring them to justice once and for all. And he manages to find a lead aka track them down. In other words, he happens to track them down to this amusement park called Wonderworld, which is nearby Beverly Hills. And again, the same thing. But Axel Foley acts comedic, charismatic, has that unique sense of humor, it's mystery, like adventurous, good action sequences as well. It goes investigating a case, etc. Kind of. Judge Reinhold returns from the first two movies. John Ashton's character Taggart does not return in this movie, and Ronnie Cox's character does not return in this movie either, unfortunately, because they had scheduling conflicts during the filming of this movie, so they had to write it that they both retired, even though, spoiler alert, Taggart does return in the fourth movie. 30 years later, like 30 years after the movie that he was absent in, but 37 years after his last appearance beforehand, which was 1987's Beverly Hills Cop 2. He hadn't been seen since then until 2024's Beverly Hills Cop XLF, aka Beverly Hills Cop 4, whatever you want to call it. It's Beverly Hills Cop XLF. That's what it's anyhow. And yeah, it's campy, but back to Beverly Hills Cop 3. It's campy, but campy. I mean, it's like by far a lot more campy compared to the first two movies. A lot of people consider it to be too campy. Like, my second cousin, who I see and talk to every now and then, he doesn't like the third movie. I know of other people who didn't like it, but I understand where they're getting at. But I think it's a watchable film in general. Like, if you want to have a laugh, it's worth it. And and fun fact, the actor who played Nancy's father in A Nightmare on Elm Street 1 and 3 and is in this movie, and he also played himself in Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I forget the name of the guy, but probably know who I'm talking about. He's unfortunately deceased now. He's unfortunately deceased now as of 4 years ago. But he was a good actor, and it also has George Lucas, the creator / god of the creator / god of Star Wars, in a cameo appearance. You can't miss him. He has that iconic look. As soon as you see him, you'll be like, George Lucas, the Force is with us. LOL. And it gives a nice Disneyland / Disney World vibe. If you love amusement parks and circuses and carnivals, then you can't miss out on this adventure. You have to enjoy the experience, especially when it comes to characters, like the meet and greet characters. And it's really campy, and in the villain, he managed the villain. I forget the name of the villain, but he owns the amusement park, or he works for it in some form. He's like one of those corrupt business kind of people, another crime lord kind of guy, and he is ruthless, this villain too. But Axel has to take these people down too, and he's really good, and it's like Axel Foley never really gets old. It's awesome. And it features the return of that guy from the first movie who worked for Victor Maitland, the guy who'd be like Axwell, something like that. He's a really cool guy. And it also features some new characters, like this guy who basically takes the place of Taggart. I forget the name of him, but he has a mustache, and this lady who works at the park is introduced as like a potential love interest to Axel Foley, but spoiler alert, she doesn't return in Beverly Hills Cop XLF. Neither does the guy who potentially replaces Taggart. And But like, again, it's watchable in some form. Not the best Beverly Hills Cop overall. I agree with that, but I don't think it's the worst kind of movie to be ever made in Hollywood history. That's my opinion, honestly. That's my honest opinion. But yeah, like Beverly Hills Cop 3. And so yeah, that's for the original trilogy. And I'll do a ranking of each installment, including part 4 in the future. It's a really good action franchise if you like it. If you like Lethal Weapon, Rush Hour, etc., then I completely recommend the Beverly Hills Cop franchise. Totally watchable and it never gets old. So yeah, there's only one Axel Foley, and he's played by Eddie Murphy, and it holds a special place in my heart, and I'm gonna keep remembering it. And and he loves the Lions, the football team, just like Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead does. Go Lions, etc. Right? So yeah, again, Beverly Hills Cop franchise. I totally recommend it. It originally launched back in 1984, 40 years ago at the time of this recording, because now it's 2024, the year that Beverly Hills Cop Axel F came out, and they're actually making a part 5 right now. I'm sure we'll start hearing an official announcement for a filming date soon, and a potential release date and returning cast, and I can't wait for that, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, like if you like Beverly Hills Cop and you want to start watching this franchise, I totally recommend this collection. I don't think they have a 4-movie collection DVD edition yet, but I'm sure they'll do it sooner or later. I wouldn't be surprised if they did this. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. Surprised if they did it sooner or later. But yeah, Beverly Hills Cop franchise, totally recommend it. It's so awesome, starring Eddie Murphy, John Ashton, Judge Reinhold, Ronnie Cox, to name a few. I love it, and you're gonna love it too. So yeah, rate favorite Eddie Murphy. Rate favorite, subscribe. You can comment. If you love the 80s, you'll love this video. You'll love these movies. Rate favorite, subscribe, even comment, and I'll rate favorite, subscribe, even comment, and I'll talk to you people later. See you in the next video. Peace.